You live in a gated community.
It's called a gated community.
In the gay community.
I just want us to have an open conversation, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, anybody. I want this to be a safe space for everyone.
Racism is alive and well in the gay community.
The gay community. The gay community. Gay community as us as a trans community.
Who is having that conversation?
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another fascinating episode of the Gated Community Podcast. I can't believe we're already on episode 6. We're more than halfway through the season with only 4 episodes left. Look at God, just moving us right along. I appreciate you for listening. So tonight I wanted to bring a special guest on to discuss and highlight the toxicity behind the vanity of social media, its psychological effects, and how people feel more comfortable with each other online than in person. You know, that can lead to social anxiety. So as an artist, Emmious is a staple in social culture and has vantage points that some of us don't. A behind the scenes look, if you will. Mingling in art galleries where he displays his work, connecting with the masses on social media about the interests of his many talents, and gallivanting with those who hide their insecurities behind exaggerated smiles and faux performances of happiness in plain sight. So I thought, who better else to have on for a little show and tell? We also take a dive into the kiddie pool of navigating through life as Black gay men with unresolved trauma and how it influences our relationships with ourselves, with each other, with our friends and family, and in romantic relationships. Because most of us have been there, right? Entering a relationship with a guy or girl where things don't end amicably, maybe even with anger and resentment. And we deal with those feelings by suppressing them instead of trying to understand and resolve them. A few months later, we find ourselves committed to someone new with the hope and intent of leveling up by sustaining the love and commitment that we desired in our last situation, convincing ourselves that this time I'll get my happy ending. It's usually like that in the beginning. All butterflies, French toast, and bragging rights. Then sooner than later, you're triggered. He or she did that thing that reminded you of the last guy or girl. They said something that made you feel disrespected. They did something that made you feel less than, just like the last person you were involved with. So you go from,
you love me, it's special, different,
to,
niggas ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
Real quick. But maybe they didn't mean it in the way that you took it, or maybe they did. But if you would have taken a moment to have a conversation, listen, and understand why your last acted like an ass, then maybe you would have learned that your ex did and said those things to you because those things were said and done to them. And they only know how to treat others how they've been treated because of their unresolved trauma. Maybe they don't have the capacity to love and nurture like you do. So they go with what they know. And now here you go with your new boo, resenting them for things that triggered you from your past that they know nothing about. It becomes cyclical. What they may have said or done to you may have sent you on a spiral because of the way that you received it. Now your past is caught up to you, and because you didn't face it back then, trace the steps that led you there to learn how to move the next time you may be approached with it, and erase the actions that caused the unamicable breakup. You find yourself facing it all over again with your new person, and your storyline will be the same. Perception. Something that we all have that often differs from others. And without understanding, it can feel like an attack. This is why it's important to eradicate issues instead of suppressing them, because what we don't resolve will continue to show up in our lives and in the lives of others and present itself in a way that can be detrimental to one's character. Just a little food for thought. Now let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my friend Emmious.
So my name is Emmious Marshall. I am an abstract artist and property manager from Atlanta, born and raised in the city of Atlanta. Yeah, that's me.
And you're into art, right? Because I know you do a lot of painting and okay. Do you have your own website or just your Instagram?
My Instagram is Painted by Emmy, and my website is paintedbyemmy.com.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I brought you on because I want to talk about a few things, starting with, because I know we've had conversations in the past on on Instagram about the influence of social media.
Yes.
And the vanity of social media and how it can psychologically affect people subconsciously, and they might not know how they might present to the world or to themselves because of the influence of social media. It has a heavy presence in a lot of our lives. And how people feel more comfortable speaking or chatting online versus having in-person conversations because they feel like they have social anxiety. I kind of want to break down how social media is basically
ruining the world. I'll say this: social media is like bittersweet because it definitely has a lot of advantages. Like, for instance, with my artwork, and it has gotten, I ship artwork to Texas, to other states, and I'm shipping prints everywhere, and people, they're buying stuff from my website now, and social media, people are finding out, oh, I love this art. I'm able to do other campaigns and things like that. That is amazing.
So it's good for business.
Yes. And additionally, I can see how, let's say, someone teetering with, not feeling as motivated in life for whatever reason can go through social media and feel like, well, damn, this is why I don't get on here. Or as much as we say we're not supposed to compare ourselves to others and things like that, most people are not being their real selves on there because they're only posting the good stuff. They're only posting the trips. They're only posting the good stuff in their lives. So you don't really know the real person, and that's why I top my hat off to people who are like, bitch, I ain't got nothing to prove,
Right. If you're already not in a very healthy mental space, and then you navigate through social media, it can kind of bring you down even more because once you see how other people are doing, and then you tend to compare that to yourself, it's not. Well,
I should travel more. I should be doing more activities, or I should work out, or I need to go on a diet. I should. Whatever it is,
right.
Bombarded with so much on there.
Well, I know that when social media was created to off the basis of psychological effects. So it was created to basically get you addicted to wanting to swipe more and releasing dopamine whenever you get a like or whenever you get a comment or something like that. But I'm just trying to
But I am aware of it, because I've watched a lot of the documentaries. I'm like, oh, it's happening.
Right.
I can tell if I do a post, right? And I know how visual the world is. I notice with my artwork, if I post a picture with my artwork, it's going to get more likes than me just posting the art by itself.
Mm-hmm. People are visual people.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, he's the artist. Okay. But I can even, I'll admit that I'm like, oh, well, damn, that didn't get as much likes as the other one. I'm not walking around sad or anything, but I notice that,
Yeah. I guess my question is, I wonder about when they created social media like Instagram, if they were if that was a thing that they could expect to snowball and kind of cause.
Oh, definitely.
Effect of
hands down.
Yeah, I'm comparing myself to what I see, and obviously I'm going to feel like it's not good enough because of this picture or this video that I'm viewing of someone who I think might be, in whatever case, better than me. But at the same time, it's the side effect of that is depression. So I'm trying to figure out when social media, when Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff was created, it was created to attract people and in so many words, addict people to staying on the app because they wanted you to be active on the app or reasons of, I don't know, for collecting data to build robots that would simulate people like that. But
it works so well that they said, well, fuck it, we'll open it up to everybody, not just college students.
Yeah. But now it's it's gotten to the point to where it's out of control and it's causing depression and suicide rates to increase. And it's causing people to compare themselves to filters, to fake visuals and people that aren't really really real. It's just a simulation of who they are. That's not to like strike everybody across social media, but
even people that live their lives through social media. I hit a guy up recently. He was in town, and if I'm not friends with you, I'm not going to talk to you daily. But if I know if you're in town, I hit you up. But like, oh yeah, you came to the A. What up? You know,
right.
So I hit this guy up and I was like, hey, and he's like, you unfollowed me. And I was like, no, I was like, I did not. I was like, that's how I see that you're here because I follow you. And he's like, oh, never mind. You unfollowed in September, but then I refollowed in October. And I'm like,
bitch, not keeping track.
Ooh, I'm thinking to myself, like, he must has an app on his phone that keeps track of that. Because I'm like, who really gives a fuck?
They do make those apps that show you. Like,
there's someone I hang with. I hang with probably 3 times a week, but I don't follow him because it's like, to him, social media is like,
it's life.
It's like, no, to this person who I stopped following recently, this is a different person. I see him so much, but I'm intentional on getting to know him. Right. So with that, I was like, I don't really have to even follow him like that on social media because he doesn't even really take it serious like that. So what's the point? I know him as a person. Like,
which is the new, what's your number? Like, what's up? I'm interested in you. Let's exchange numbers. Niggas don't ask for numbers no more. They ask for your social media. They ask for your Instagram, which is like, bitch, that's a version of me.
Because I think that people want to feel like I guess I want to see what you're about. Oh yeah, I follow him. I think I know him. You know, when it's really like, no.
Yeah, no, it's not. You don't know.
It's really, if I had to say, percentage wise, that's a good one. Like if you think about percentage wise, like, oh, this person, if you look at this person, I wonder what percentage of them, their page is really who they are, you know? Like, are they really posting their authentic selves, or are they just posting who they
for the dopamine effect? I mean, to me, it's just like another outlet for people to, first of all, like, people are never going to show anything, any like bad situation that they're going through on social media. Like, that's just not going to happen. Like, you ain't never going to log on to social media, like a fight or go ahead.
I said no vulnerability, no sensitivity, none of that.
I mean, there's a small percentage who use social media and they are their authentic selves, but I think for the most part, it's all superficial. So it's like, why would I want to give you my social? Like, if I meet a guy in public and he's like, oh, I'm like, what's your number? He's like, oh, what's your Instagram? I'm like, I'm going to think to myself, like, why do I want to give you? Number one, that's just not a way to get to know me. Maybe I'm like too traditional for the whole Instagram exchange, but that's not a way to get to know me. Like, I only post certain things on social media. I don't even, honestly, if I'm not posting like about my blog or like something silly, then I might log on to post something and then I might like a few posts and then I'm logging off. Like, I'm not addicted.
Yeah. And I keep mine geared towards art, but I have to also realize that as an artist, you are a real person. You are a person. You're not like, or a business, you know what I'm saying? I have to post some stuff so people know, oh, he's a real person. He has friends. He hangs out, you know?
Like, he's not a robot.
that is a portion, that is a part of being an artist, being a person, experiencing life and going through life. You're not going to see what I'm eating, that sort of stuff, but check this out. Meet a guy, like you said, you get his number or whatever. Y'all talk. You finally go through social media. And we talked about this before. Like, I have actually unfollowed people because I go through and I'm like, bitch, it's all pictures of you.
Which is like, I mean, any logical, rational person would probably think that there is some kind of narcissism behind that.
But actually, no. It's the opposite. A lot of people look at that as like, oh yeah, okay. You're on Instagram. That's cool.
Because they're insecurity.
They're caught up in that realm of this is what everybody else do. They post pictures of themselves. It's just Instagram. Duh. But other people, you know, we look at it like, bitch, insecure or narcissism.
Yeah, it's like you're on
more me,
either side of the spectrum. Yeah, it's like me. Like, I don't want to, like, is this all that you're about, is posting selfies?
And then, and God forbid they post a picture of the sun or the skyline. I'm going to delete that later because that ain't really get a lot of likes. So I'm going to replace that with my gym picture and that'll fuck them up.
It's so tacky to me. It's like nobody leaves anything to the figment of the imagination anymore. Everybody wants to reveal themselves in the physical form, and it's just so unbecoming. Like, what do I have to look forward to if all these niggas seeing you plastered on social media and nothing but dental floss and fitted. That's just not cute to me.
And that's why you weed them out and you find you somebody else who isn't about that life.
But I think that for me, I'm not really interested in anyone who's just trying to get to know me initially through Instagram. I'm not on or Facebook. Like, I'm not really interested in, like, that's a turn off to me. Say I meet a guy tonight and he's like, hey, what's your social? And I'm just like, I'm not on social media. Like, what do you, because I think what happens is they will ask me for my social media. Then they will go on and look at my account and then they will have all of these prejudiced connotations about me that might not even be true. But because the picture is worth 1,000 words, then they kind of form their own opinion based on their perception of what they see. And that's not getting to know me as the person that I am. So that automatically becomes a problem for me. And
it's like, oh yeah, I know you.
Oh, you cunt. Oh, you playing makeup. Just whatever superficial reason that somebody might have to be like, oh, I'm no longer interested. When in the end, like, you're the one doing me the favor, because if that's what you're looking for, then bitch, I don't want to fuck with you like that.
People can change. People can tell you anything. People can take pictures of anything and pretend, but the longer you hang around somebody, the truth will come out.
And when you said, like, going back to what you just said about how people change, see, I have an issue with that. Like, it's my own personal issue, because I'm like, yeah, I believe in allowing people the space for them to change who they are to better themselves. But like, if they've done something to make me feel like they did something that may have offended me or that I don't like, or
I'm generally speaking on.
Well, hold on. What I was gonna say was, it's easy for me to say people should allow people to change to better themselves, but at the same time, I'm not me as a person, Corey, as an Aries, as a cynic. I'm not going to thoroughly believe who you are when you become that changed person. Do you understand what I mean? Like, so it's like, yeah, you've changed. You've proven to me, you say that you've changed and I might even see it, but I don't, like, there's a part of me that doesn't believe it. Kind of like a catch-22. Yeah, bitch, I want you to change, but when you do, I don't believe that you did, because I believe that you're doing it, or you saying that you're doing it because of whatever benefits it might bring to you.
I think that boils down to just trusting people.
Yeah, I have a big issue with trust.
Like, we really have to trust people and move on, because otherwise, what are we holding on to?
No, fuck that, Emmious. I can't just. So you're saying, okay, well, no, let's stay on track. What were you going to say about?
I had the perfect example. Let's say I met Tom on Jack. Let's say that.
Okay. Tom
went to my Instagram and found out that I did drag 2017, 2018. He said, well, I didn't know you did drag. That totally changed my perception of you. And I'm gonna have to bow out. But I said, okay, cool. I was upset, whatever. And let's say 2022 came around. He saw me and was like, damn, I see your art and stuff now. You popping or whatever. You mind if we hang out again? I would say, yeah.
No Why would you say yes?
Because I believe
it's something about you that he didn't like, that because of whatever reason that.
But now I see what you're saying, but I'm like, shit, what's up? I don't have nothing to lose. I mean, forgiving someone or looking past that, I just feel like, what's the point of holding on to all that? Some people, they can change their minds, they can grow, and I just feel like being a little open, you know.
I mean, that's the preference thing, right?
I will say this. Now, I got another one. I got a real one.
Hold on. Let's go back to what you were just talking about, because if we dissect that for a second, it's like he met you at one period in your life when you were doing something that he wasn't attracted to. Fast forward a year or two later, and he sees you doing you, which is no different from what you were doing before. Like, the person hasn't changed. It's the idea of the person or the vision of the person that's changed. So now I'm attracted to you. So in my mind, that's disrespectful to me.
Okay, so what if the guy says, I started working, I'm just throwing it out there.
Is this hypothetical or?
I started working with this guy that did drag, and we became really cool and changed my perspective on things. Do you still wouldn't buy that?
No, because bitch, he could have just got to know you and you could have changed his perspective on things.
I understand, but what I'm trying to say is, if we live our lives like that, we're just holding on to just this unnecessary stuff.
But on the flip side of that coin, if you meet someone later in life who had something against you in the past and now they're like, okay, I'm fine with it. It's almost like evaluating your worth and just kind of trying to figure out how much of it you're willing to relinquish because you want to see what this boy is about or you want to date this guy. Do you know, like, does...
I get what you're saying. Same. This example supports what you're saying. There was a guy that I used to like. We dated back in the day. In our 30s, I didn't have a car. And he's like, well, I wouldn't date you because you don't have a car. My feelings were hurt. And I was like, can I ask you a question? He was like, yeah. He said, well, the guy that I just broke up with, he didn't have a car and I had to take him everywhere. And so I said, well, have I ever asked you to take me anywhere? And he said, no. And I said, yeah, because it's not me. I said, we're two different people. And he was like, I'm at a different point in life and I'm this age and I just feel like yada, yada, yada. I said, okay, now moving forward in life, if this person ever tried to date me, ever tried to have sex with me or anything like that, I would just say no.
Why?
Because I felt like you're putting, I won't say something materialistic, but something that you think I should have as a human being when it comes to dating you.
So he would prefer to date someone who has a car so that he wouldn't have to drive them around. But
listen, I get that, but everybody's different. Some people are independent, some people are dependent on people. You would have never known that until you actually dated the person, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so how is that different from the first scenario? Because it sounds like...
The difference is this guy dated a guy who didn't have a car.
What the fuck that got to do with anything? So I don't want to date Emmious either because he ain't got a car?
I'm saying the guy dated a guy who didn't have a car, right?
What year was this that you met this guy who didn't have a car? Or who had a car but you didn't? Was rideshare available? Was Uber and Lyft?
Yeah, girl, okay. Yes, bitch.
So, yes. Do you think that sometimes people just look for things?
It wasn't that I just met him. I've known him for many, many years, right?
Which makes it even worse to me. Do you think that sometimes people just look for things to complain about so that they can kind of sabotage whatever connection that you might have with them? Okay. No, I'm asking, like, do you think that sometimes people do that? And maybe that was one of those scenarios. Because outside of the car, what else? Like, is there anything else? So it was just the car. Yeah. Would you want to date someone who couldn't overlook something as minute as a car, not having one?
Nope. Because my thing is, bitch, if somebody was amazing, and you're like, I'm just being hypothetical again, because I know how a lot of people are about their education and things like that. Mm-hmm. It has their standards. Oh, this guy is amazing. He has a nice job. He has this. He has that. He just bought a house. He has his own everything. But he didn't even go to school. Like my whole family went to college. They're gonna ask me this and that kind of thing. Like all these deal breakers. Like you're saying, I believe that a lot of us are single because of all these deal breakers and not just being a little open-minded, you know?
I think there's one-sided, you know what I mean? Because if the roles were reversed and he didn't have a car, but you did, you wouldn't say anything. I mean, but everybody's different. That's comparing apples to oranges. But I don't think that you would say something like, I don't want to date you because you ain't got a car because my last boyfriend.
Okay, no.
Right. So you can't really use like a blanket statement to say that I think that we're all single. Well, most gays are single because we have our preference.
Oh, I'm not. I'm basing that off of just for conversations I have with other people, not just on that.
Okay.
But, I've been at bars, overheard people, been at the club, overheard people talk, and everybody got their list laid out. And I notice as we get older, like that list becomes very small because
it does. I mean, I think there's a lot of diatribe about people who don't have certain credentials, and it's
essentially we're all looking for love, honey. That's it.
To me, it goes back to like if you meet a person and they're like, oh, I don't have whatever credentials that you might be looking for in a person. It goes back to that superficiality, like which runs parallel to like the social media influence. Is like, oh, well, if you don't have this, if you ain't a bad bitch, if you ain't got a bad body, if you didn't graduate from here, if you don't drive this, then I don't like. But those things don't make me. And where can I take those things with me when I die? Like those things don't make me as a person.
I'm learning this, and that is
teach me.
We all have a little impatient in us. Like nobody's willing to wait for anyone to. I'm saying like, oh bitch, he don't. I have 2 degrees. I have this. I have my own place. I have my own that. Anybody that stepped to me need to at least be where I'm at.
With those same credentials.
Correct.
To make them live comfortably. Or is it just for you to go out in public and brag to your friends that my nigga got X, Y, and Z and yours don't? Or even if yours might.
We both got beans.
Oh, bitch, we both bad bitches. Right.
We both got houses. We both.
It's for bragging rights.
We both got 750 credit scores. We good. We good.
Our credit score both sickening. Like if you think about it, none of that shit matters. Like some people look for that in a person because they think like they associate that with stability. And
but what I'm saying is, if you are genuinely looking to connect with someone, we all come with a little baggage.
Some of us with a little clutch.
You still want me or not?
Right.
What's up? And what I've learned as I've gotten, just keep getting older, bitch. Getting old, bitch. I just, I mean, you know me for years now, and I just continue to be myself and be like, that's all I got.
Yeah. I will say that I can commend you, like, as a person and even as a friend. First of all, I've seen you grown so much, you know what I mean? And I think for some people, it can be better to have that element of solitude and not find anxiety in that and kind of navigate through life by them. Not necessarily like alone, but more so like by themselves, because that just kind of like eliminates the element of drama and jealousy and toxicity. I have a group of friends that I hang with consistently. Yeah. I love them, but I spend a whole bunch of time alone. Yeah. And that just shows like your independence and your growth. And I don't see I think that's a good thing. I don't think that we all need to be around a lot of people all the time, especially as we get older, because, when we was in our 20s and we was like in the streets of Atlanta, it was like always a flock of us.
I wouldn't change it.
I wouldn't either. I mean, could you imagine social media, like the heavy presence of social media when we were like getting our life?
Yeah.
Listen, Gen Z would never understand, but I live for those days. Like the influence of social media to me.
Like for instance, going out to the club and we had our own fun. We made our own jokes, recording and, all of that. It was just fun. We woke up the next day, talked about it and went over and we said that we weren't going to drink and we did it again.
Did it again, bitch.
And did it again the next week, yeah.
And we actually had conversations with each other in person. And that's what I liked about the appetite to actually have that contact with someone in their presence. Like there wasn't, we could talk on the phone, but it was nothing to like waking up the next day, connecting over brunch and then just rehashing the night before. But now it's like, I think social media have turned people into like robots. So to speak, to where we're like, texting and emailing and FaceTiming and people comment. I swear, I believe this to be true. People comment on social media more than they have real conversations in real time in real life. And that's a problem.
Yeah, they do. So actually, some people, you can get to them faster on social media.
Faster isn't always better.
I know. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm saying they'll answer social media faster than a text message.
Yeah. Like
text somebody and say,
I was about to name some names, but I'm not going to do that. Some people will will DM me on social media and I'm like, we were just texting like yesterday. Yeah. Why are you like that annoys me. For us to like, if I consider you to be a friend, I mean, we go back and forth on social media in the DMs all the time, just talking about stuff. But there's also like a balance of having that connection like on the phone, since I'm in LA and you're in Atlanta, or like FaceTime.
Well, I would say, that's what I miss about you and another friend of mine. Like we actually have those real, like thought-provoking conversations. Like, you know me, I'm not really a phone person. I have learned to talk more on the phone and I'm actually liking it a little more. But I have a friend of mine, we talk on the phone. I'd be like, bitch, we was on the phone for 2 hours. What the fuck? Where'd time go? Because we're talking about just life and spirituality and connecting with other people and growing and, navigating through the journey of life, not just existing.
It's almost like that's a world in itself, to be able to have those conversations with friends in real life and have those 2-hour conversations and not repeat anything. And then you hang up the phone, and because it's so intermittent between those conversations and even maybe with other friends, you hold those things to be little gems, because in contrast to social media, it's just all fucking fake. And it's just all memes and nonsense and jokes and laughs. And maybe that's what it was intended for. But I like to talk about things that mean things. You know what I mean?
But everybody doesn't.
Most people, most of my friend circle.
Most people
like if
don't.
It's not a meme, like I can send something to, like, I'm in this group thread with like 4 other people. And if I send something, say about it could be something about global warming. It could be something about anything like political, anything that is affecting us in real time. If I'm talking about what happened in Afghanistan and how some American troops are still over there and how we were in this war for 20 years and nobody seems, and it's like it was a waste of time. We spent $300 million a day for 20 years on this war between us and Afghanistan, and then what happened in Pakistan and how we were supporting them, but then they had like the Taliban infused, and there are like, I can send shit like that to the group thread and niggas would be like, oh, that's crazy. But we'll send a meme with somebody like Nene Leaks or just some trivial shit, and we'll have a whole conversation about it. That shit annoys me so much. I wish I had more friends that were on.
Okay.
It's okay, but for that to be repetitive for me, it's just I just kind of wish that I could elevate maybe not so much my friend circle, but the conversations that I have with certain friends. Because I guess everything that means something to me, it might not mean anything to others. Like I have friends that I can talk to for that. But
that's what I was going to say. Different people for different things. Because I have a few friends that I talk to stuff about, and it goes deep. Even like I spoke to a friend tonight, like about relationships and finding love. And she's told me, if you want love, you give love. If you want, she just told me like whatever you want, that's what you give. That sort of thing. But I've noticed with our culture, everybody's like, oh, well, bitch, fuck that. Fuck COVID. Put in any effort, because stuff, again, social media, I think a lot of people think, bam, everything happens overnight.
Like Amazon Prime. I think
you
like
see everybody,
the thirst.
You see people getting married. You see a lot of gay guys getting married.
A lot of who get married? Gay guys?
Black guys. Right?
Hold on. Let me just say this really quick. I think that I am so bothered by people, my friends, constituents in the Black community. Like I want them to have the knowledge that I feel like we could all benefit from to navigate through different lanes in our life. Like I want people to want to better themselves, and I want more for people, more than they want for themselves. And that's the part that triggers me, because I'm like, bitch, what am I doing hanging around you nothing ass bitches who only want to talk about memes and GIFs and housewives? That's not my tea. That's just not my tea.
All you can focus on is yourself.
Yeah, and that's kind of
and keep pouring into yourself, and
I like to share
and doing what you're doing right now, and then somebody's gonna see it. They're gonna go, oh yeah, I need to find me some new people to talk to. I want to talk about these kind of things or whatever. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're gonna
like that. Well, yeah, I agree.
But I'm saying, if you sit there and focus on, oh, I wish my group of friends would want to talk about so and so.
Oh no, I don't
talk about that. They don't have to.
That's not become a thing. It just kind of made me understand and recognize the company that I keep. And
yeah, but I'm saying eventually either they will come around or you are just going to attract people that want to talk about it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the latter. I mean, and that's not to strike anybody. I mean, I'm not striking. Like, I like to have fun too, and I like to have fun conversations, and we can.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like,
but when that's just like all we talk about, it's like memes. Is your fucking brain dead? That's what I feel like. Be looking like when I talk. Fucking crash dummies. Anyways.
I get that you want to be intentional about your conversation.
I do. I would like to have conversations with more people who have certain knowledge about certain things. And that's not to make me sound like I'm a genius or that I know everything, but I think it's important to read. And I think it's important to keep up with certain things that are going on in the world instead of saying something like
and also
being, oh, well, I don't like watching the news because it's fear mongering or it just be too much or everybody dying. You don't have to watch that. Like you can watch something. Like I think if one person, like if everybody watched one thing that was educational every day, even if it were like for 10 or 15 minutes.
It could be about the stock market. It could be about self-care. It could be about investment funding. It could be about vertical farming. It could be about technology. It could be about anything. There's too much information available to us to have the same conversations about nothing.
But also talking to people that know have insight on stuff you are interested in, or maybe they have a little more knowledge in some stuff that you are going to be doing or plan on doing in the future, or that sort of thing. I had to learn to be willing to listen to them as well. If somebody owns 3 homes and you're buying your first home, they can sort of guide you through, but this is what I did on my first home. You do this, you do that, you do that. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And then they're gonna tell you this is what you really need to do. I was also gonna double back on the social media. Is when we see relationships on there as well.
Oh God,
we're in the culture of we want it overnight. Like, bitch, if I said I like you, bitch, you need to be my boyfriend. Like, what's up? The fuck? And I'm saying that because I am guilty of that. It's
really,
like, bitch, I said I like you. Come on,
really? That's
what I'm saying. I'm saying that because I think sometimes we get in it and get going, and it's like, oh yeah, I want it, so give it to me. Like we get a little impatient, But when you double back around and gather your thoughts and everything, you're like, okay, yeah, these things do take time.
Well, let's give this a timeline.
Like for instance, meet a guy January. By March, you're like, okay, what are we doing? What's up?
What's T?
I need to know what's going on. And it's like,
okay, let's back up. You meet somebody in January, you date January, February, and March. When do you have the conversation that defines what you guys are doing as far as dating, if it's exclusive, if it's casual? When do you have that conversation? When do you think that conversation should be had?
I would say at least 3 months.
About being exclusive or like...
No, I'm just saying, what do you guys want to do? Like,
like the tone of the expectation.
Yeah, do you want to move towards getting to know each other? Do you want to stop it right here and be friends? You know what I'm saying?
I think people are so quick to eradicate labels, but I think this is one of the main reasons why they're so important, because I'm not saying that we need to be boyfriends by March, but if I'm dating you, then I'm going to tell you like if we meet in January, first I'm going to fill you out to see if you're even interested in dating or if I'm interested in dating. Like, let's just have a conversation about what we're looking for, right?
But I definitely think that because I have been so keen on this whole timeline thing, but I think it definitely takes some time. It takes time, to get to know people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you can never put feelings on time or time on feelings. I understand that.
In our culture, over the years, I have seen that a lot of us just rush into stuff. We see on social media, people get married, and we laugh and joke about it. Oh, they got married and then they broke up last year. Or they broke up a couple months later. I'm not saying that these people get married because of what they see on social media, but when we open our phones and you see them, oh, they look so cute together, bitch. I can't wait to get married, bitch. When I get married, it's gonna be that's Damn.
Well, which is essentially no different from somebody opening up one of their social media apps and wanting something that somebody else has that might not be
a house
or a car, whatever the case.
Yeah, I'm saying that you get that, and then I think I'm making up a word. I think there's a freudism, of
a freudism. Bitch, you have heard it here first. What? A freudism? Okay. Webster, you hear that?
Damn.
Afraid? You think that people fear or afraid of
taking things slow? Like taking things slow.
I don't see anything with taking things slow, but like just kind of circling back to my point a few seconds ago, like I was asking about, for lack of better words, a timeline, because if you don't have these conversations or discussions with someone that you're dating or getting to know, then people are going to assume that because you're acting a certain way, oh, well, he acting like my nigga, he acting like he's my boyfriend, he's acting like we're dating, but you never have any clear discussion about, okay, yes, we're dating and this is what we are, then people will take those actions and take it for what they want the situation to be. Like that can happen. I want to say I'm dating this guy, or say I'm seeing this guy, like we're dating, or at least maybe in my mind. And I like him so much and I'm so into him that maybe I'm afraid to have that conversation with him about, where we stand, because I don't want to hear him tell me that he's casually dating other people. I want to be exclusive. So in order to avoid knowing the truth, I'm going to continue to contaminate my own feelings by going along with this scenario and thinking and believing that, yes, we are exclusive, even though we have not had that conversation about being so. So
I learned that we just can't be afraid. It's what you're afraid of.
I'll end that with, I think it's better to know than to not.
Yeah. What they do? Meal do a barbecue.
Like have conversations with people, have talks.
And it doesn't, I like a lot of people tense up when they feel like you're coming at them like, okay, what are we doing? Okay,
let's talk about that. Like, why is that even a problem? Why do you think people like guys tense up or get defensive when someone asks them, like,
there could be a lot. There could be a plethora of reasons, but we don't know how people grew up. We don't know their backgrounds. Trauma, all that kind of stuff. We don't know that. But I'm just saying, if I had to pick out 6 guys that I've dated, some people may say, oh yeah, I like you, I want to be exclusive. And yes, but they're out not being exclusive. Or somebody
people might tell you what you want to hear just to avoid any conversations that they might not want to have at the time.
Somebody that really likes you, but you like, I like him too. We have a good time together, but I really don't see myself being with him. I think those conversations should be had as well,
Wait. I like you, but I don't see myself being with you.
For instance, you like them, y'all have fun together, y'all have a great conversation, jokes, y'all can see each other every day, y'all just have a good time together. Like a really good, like me and you, good friend. So hang out, I could hang out with you Monday through Friday and not be bored. And
at all.
So what I mean by that type of energy, but I wasn't necessarily sexually attracted to that person.
Okay, so sexual attraction.
I mean, bitch, we gotta fuck if I'm dating you. If I'm gonna be with you.
Emotional attraction are able to be compartmentalized.
That's just isn't that a thing?
Are you saying that you could be emotionally or physically attracted to somebody, but not sexually? So that would be your reason for saying, I like you, but I just don't think that we're a good match.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Have you had sex with this person? How do you know that you're not sexually attracted to them?
I had it and I didn't. It wasn't for me.
How many times?
I had once.
And that's all it took?
And I clocked out.
Maybe he was having a bad day.
I clocked out and went home.
You paid it?
I didn't get paid that day.
Okay, well, fair enough. You know what you like. You know what works for you. Obviously, that one didn't.
I said, see ya.
Let's shift to when a guy, because I've actually experienced this with a guy that I was dating in Atlanta who I really, really liked, like I was really into, and the reciprocity was there, but he ended things with me because he said that he felt like I would cheat on him, even though I had never given him a reason to, historically had never cheated and had not planned on doing so. But because of what he's gone through in the past, he just kind of automatically assumed that I got like a lot of dates and I got a lot of guys' attention. And to protect himself, he wanted to break up with me before I gave him a chance to do that or before I broke up with him, which is unresolved that has nothing to do with me. Talk about carrying the past to the present.
So I was just going to say this, like as you're talking now, I'm boiling over.
Simmering.
I was going to say that no matter what state you're in, I wholeheartedly believe that we must continue to work on ourselves, right?
I believe that, yeah.
In all realms. Like, bitch, just because you cute, that ain't enough.
Instagram.
I need you to have some substance, you know. How is your mental? How is your physical? Are you okay with your body? Do you like your body? How do you feel when you look in the mirror? You know.
Are you spiritual?
Are you spiritual?
Are you not
happy? Do you have ambition? How are you?
What are your goals? What are your
goals? Do you have any friends? Are you alone? Are you, you know?
Do your parents know that you are homosexual? That's a big one for me.
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
It's not really a big one for me, but I would definitely like to know like what your mental state is. Because just because somebody, like let's say if their parents live in Alaska, he lives in Atlanta.
For global warming, they'll be swimming down here soon.
They're like, oh, my parents don't know I'm gay. Okay.
Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Why?
Listen, how's your relationship with them? It's great. I see them 3-4 times a year. I just never came out. It's never been a thing.
But that is a thing. That you've never come out. That is a thing. Because there's a huge part of you that's showing up in the world. Like you're presenting yourself in a way of inauthenticity. Because even though your parents, like you say, your parents don't know, and that might work for both of you. But is that really respecting?
If the guy came and talked to you today, if you met him in the grocery store tomorrow, bam, hour 6, fine as fuck, and y'all went on y'all first date and you find out what I just told you. Is that a deal breaker for you? Are you like?
I mean, it would definitely make me question some things. I mean, I would want to know why. And maybe that's me being kind of biased because like my entire family knows about me and that's the way that I want it.
That is your family.
You're right. It's my experience. That's why I said maybe I'm being biased. But at the same time, even if I weren't being biased, if you are showing up that way to the people who raised you, to the people who are closest, well, maybe the closest to you, then in what other ways are you showing up as someone that you're not? That would be my concern.
Got it. All I am saying is, what if he fell in love with your dirty drawers and said 6 months later, I really love you and I want to come out. I want you to meet my parents.
You want me to meet your parents on the day that you came out to them?
No, I'm just saying, like, what if 6 months down the line, he said he came out and then eventually he wanted to meet his parents.
So this is basically insinuating that I'm going to stay with him for 6 months, even though he told me that his parents don't know about it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. I could respect the time frame.
Otherwise, he'd have been otherwise.
Yeah, no, all the other stuff is fine. But I guess what I'm saying is I could respect if we had a conversation and he was like, listen, just give me some time. I know how important this is to you and I know how important this should be to me. And I think I'm at a place to where I am finally ready to have that conversation with him. Give me about 4 to 6 months and consider it done in 4 to 6 months. But then that's me taking a risk on his word of 4 to 6 months. Because if I waste my time, if I waste 4 to 6 months with him and in 6 months he don't go and have that conversation with them, I'm telling them and then we breaking up.
Oh no.
Yeah, because you wasted first you didn't even respect me enough to be honest. Then you didn't even respect our relationship enough to be honest. And now here it is. I trusted you for your word and here it is 6 months later and you telling me that, oh, okay. I ain't got to tell him. I can write him a letter. I can shoot him an email. I can DM him on Instagram, like whatever the case. But you not going to play with me on my time. That's all I'm saying. If you need a little bit more time in 6 months, we can revisit that then. But otherwise,
out of order.
No, bitch. I'm not out of order.
I'm in compliance with my emotions and respecting and protecting the agency that I have over myself while trying to maintain a relationship with someone who's given me his whole heart, but still has one foot out the door.
I was going to say,
listen,
if he came back to you and said, hey, baby, I need a little more time. I'm not quite ready yet.
You already had half a year. How much more time you need?
I need 3 more months.
What's going to happen in 3 more months that couldn't happen now?
I'm developing a plan.
What's the plan that you should have been developing 3 to 6 months ago?
I'm getting a PowerPoint presentation.
If you can email me that PowerPoint and CC your parents, that will work for me.
All right.
But I need that to be done before 3 months from now. Like, bitch, you not. Because people do things with intent. You know, like, I believe in people making mistakes and people like...
Okay, so check me out, though. So check this out. So what if...
You knew the whole time that you was stringing me along that you weren't going to do this. Because even if you felt like you were going to do it in 4 to 6 months and it came to that 4 to 5 month period.
So you
knew the whole time that you weren't going to do what you told me that you were going to do. And you sold me on false hope. So now you want me to be even more understanding because you not done something that you said that you felt like you were ready to do and you're not doing it. You need some more time. Okay. So now it's 12 months and we had a year and you talking about, okay, I'm going to do it on New Year's Eve.
So you're telling me that if the guy hangs out with you, otherwise, y'all do PDA, y'all go to the club together, y'all go to all this stuff. He's just not with his parents.
If he told me that if that was gonna be a conversation, because honestly, like if you by this theory alone, if it's been 4 to 6 months, within 2 to 3, my parents know about him. Within those 6 months, his still don't know about me. So it's just not about him having the conversation. It's also about keeping me in the dark. And it's about you being honest to me, being respectful, and just growing a backbone and being upfront with your parent. That has more to do with him than it does to do with me. He can be doing everything else right, but one lie is still a lie. And I just don't tolerate liars. Like if you were real with me and were like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do that in 6 months. I'm not going to be able to tell my folks, I like the way my life is right now and this is working for me. Okay, well, we're not going to work for me. And I can respect you and you can respect me. We can just go our separate ways. But there's just some things that goes beyond the surface. And I think that's one of them. I mean, it's who you are. It's your sexuality. It's your life.
Even if you said we met in January, by the end of the year, I plan on telling him.
Yeah, he can say a lot of things. My question would be, why is it taking you 12 months? Why do you want a whole year with me for you to have a 10-minute conversation with them? Like that, where's the balance? Am I risking or is he risking? Because at this point, I feel like I'm winning and he's taking the L. I'm listening.
You're telling me that you would risk meeting a potential partner all because he's just not out with his parents.
You might. You're missing my point.
Listen to me.
Go ahead.
I'm saying this could be the love of your life, and you're just like, nope. You say you're gonna come out in a year, but I can't trust that.
If this is like supposedly the love of my life, and that means that we're gonna get married, and I would want his parents at the wedding. So what he gonna say then?
There you go.
That's called having your cake and eating it too. I won't be a slice of that cake. I just can't. I respect myself too much to let the decisions of someone else influence me into being someone that I'm not.
Okay.
And also, no one's perfect. So, bitch, there is no way in hell that he could be doing everything else like 100%, like check all the boxes. And that's just like the one and only thing. I mean, okay, let's reverse the role. If there was something about me that he was like, listen, you need to get this done, or I'm just not going to be interested, depending on what it is.
Okay.
If I tell you, you know how direct I am, bitch. Like, if I tell you, okay, well, in order for us to make this work, I can compromise with you. And this, depending on what it is, this can and will be reformed within 4 to 6 months. But I'm not saying that based on my own feelings, because I know that I want to be with this guy. In the back of my mind, I know this is not going to happen in 4 to 6 months. I'm saying this because it actually will. It could go that way or the only other way, which is that's not going to work for me. So I don't know if you want to be friends. I don't know, but that I can't do that. Actually, I can't. I'm not going to do that. And I wouldn't never ask or out someone or ask someone to out themselves before they were ready. But if we just so happen to meet at a point in his life where he's not, then that's just not going to work for me personally. I mean, I can't speak for nobody else. You know, niggas be out here desperate and, oh, well, you know, he hit me every now and then and, you know, he got a boyfriend. I'm the side nigga, but that's not me.
Understandable. I think that's good to hear.
I feel like you're being facetious and sarcastic. Are you being facetious and sarcastic?
Oh, me? No, I'm being honest. I just said that's.
But you would give him.
Oh, yeah.
However amount of time he needed or wanted to.
I'm just learning to be more flexible.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because for me, I'm getting to know the person. I don't really care about, not saying I wouldn't care about his parents, but in the process, I'm getting to know him. That is all that I would care about. Now down the line, and if I had to be raw and honest, if he never came out to his parents, that really wouldn't bother me.
Okay, let me ask you this. If he's being secretive about his life with you to his parents, who else do you think that secret could spread amongst other people in his life?
It could. I have to deal with that when it comes.
So you're willing to take that risk?
Yeah.
So it starts with his parents, the people who brought him into this world, and you're willing to take the risk that it might matriculate down to other people who are less important in his life that he doesn't.
Yeah, what I learned though is that there are so many things in life to worry about, and
you're right.
Sometimes you just gotta roll on it.
But putting yourself first.
Remember when I was dating
John Doe?
He was like that. He was very, we can't be friends on Facebook because my family and my frat brothers might see. I can't bring you around to meet my family because they don't know that. Okay, I'm not even going there because this is let's moving on.
I want to spend a few minutes on mental health and talk therapy. Different types of therapy: interpersonal therapy, interpersonal psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is what I was seeing my therapist for, I think. Dialectical behavioral therapy and psychotherapy amongst Black men, amongst Black gay men, amongst Black people, amongst the Black community. Let's what's up with that?
Unresolved trauma and how that can influence and impact their relationship. Friends, family, whomever.
I think at some point in life, and I'm being open and honest, at some point in life, we as people, as we're out in the world, we're working, we're networking, we're growing. I think at some point we all should ask ourselves, how do I want to grow and be a little more thirsty about self-growth and self-love. So as I started interacting with more people and being vulnerable, I thought to myself, well, bitch, maybe I could talk to somebody. As Black men, loving other Black men, nobody really teaches us that. But I do know that if I am healthy mentally, if I am healthy emotionally, I can begin to operate, in peace and love and grow with someone. Because if you go into that all fucked up, it's going to be a lot of chaos. So I do believe as we navigate in love and start dating, and I recommend that we all get some type of therapy, even if you're not dating, even just out here in the world. That's what I would suggest.
I think Black men in general, gay, straight, however you identify, can definitely benefit from therapy. Mental health is just as important as your physical health. Going to the doctor to get a checkup is just as important as going to see a therapist and getting your head checked.
Not the other one.
Right. Not that one, but the other one. And even with me being in therapy, I'm not in therapy anymore, but I realized and I learned a lot about.
So how was that? Can you tell me 3 things you learned, top of your head?
3 things that I learned in...
That you can share with other people. That you can share with the audience that are watching.
That I can share with other people. The 3 things that I learned in therapy.
There's 3 good things.
In therapy, I learned that the way that I respond in relationships whenever I'm dating, I learned why I respond the way that I do. And I also learned that it's not healthy. Like I kind of already knew this, but I recognized and learned that that it's not healthy for me to, in whatever idea I might believe to be dating down or dating a dependent is not healthy. Basically, I would date guys that would have less than me because I felt like as long as they would need something from me, they would have that element of dependence on me. And then that in turn will cause them not to leave because, like obviously if you need something, you're going to stick around for it. So that was like me playing it safe. And
a lot of people, I'm saying that because I don't want people to just think we're talking about gay Black men. A lot of people date like that. They date people that have less than, they have two of nothing. But bitch, he need me, bitch. So he ain't going nowhere.
Right. But the oxymoron there with me is that, like, I don't date people. I'm not interested in people for things that they have. I'm not interested in people for how much money they have.
Yeah.
I don't care about how much money you got. I don't care about what kind of car you drive. Like, all of that materialism is not, that doesn't impress me. It doesn't move me.
We can sit up in a room, watch movies for days.
Listen.
Order Chinese food and fuck all night.
I mean, I come from humble beginnings, and I'm not one of those people who came from those type of beginnings and just.
That's why.
Like all of a sudden, I'm this new bitch. That's just not me.
Like when I see a lot of guys in our culture, and I don't know how they got these things. I don't know how they obtained them, whether they studied it, whether they worked for it, whoever, however. Treat everybody the same, but I'm not impressed by it. You know?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
New Balenciagas, Range Rover, this, that, and the third, diamonds, this. That doesn't mean anything.
Not to me. I mean, to them, obviously, but not to me.
We all have to find our own version of rich. Like, for me, it's my creativity. Like, I feel so rich. I can make things for people that they fall in love with. Oh, well, I make things for myself that people fall in love with, in turn buy it for themselves and or want me to recreate something like that for them. That's priceless for me, you know?
Yeah.
So
priceless gratification over anything monetary.
Yeah. For instance, with you thrive off these conversations, these frisbee type conversations where, we have this whole back and forth thing going on. It's you feeding me, I'm feeding you. We're eating, we're living, as you spoke about being mentally fit. I'm excited for my journey in that area because.
But you only let me name two things, but go ahead.
No. I'm doubling back. I'm excited for my journey because I'm starting tomorrow. That's why I was getting on this.
I'm excited for you. What's this journey? What journey? Your mental. Oh, because you said you just started therapy.
I'm starting tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Right.
So I'll follow up with your 30 days on another podcast.
Yes, please do. Because I'm sure we'd like to know how you progressed. I would love to know. I think as long as we serve our purpose, that's what's fulfilling to me. And like you said, we have these conversations, we go back and forth, but to me, it's serving a purpose because someone can listen to this, even if it's like one or two people. And if they can identify with something, or if it might change their perspective about something because they were leaning towards one way and then they heard this and then they're like, oh, okay, well, I've opened my mind a little bit more and shifted my perspective to think differently now. And like that's my purpose. I'm not just talking just to talk. You know what I mean? Like because
right.
Gen Z is just, anyways, that's for another day.
And what was your third thing?
The third that I learned in therapy was that my therapist used to say a lot that people take advantage of me. Would you ever think that, knowing me as a person?
I think that what you present to others, like let's say, for instance, like perfect example, like what you present to when you lived in Atlanta, what you present to your friends around us, don't take no shit, don't say what's on your mind, whatever, right? When you're dating a guy, maybe totally different with him. So that could be in the arena of taking advantage of,
Okay, I'll give you some context. She said that because of things that were happening in my job. Okay. And because I was finding it, even though like I am that like direct person, what I've learned about myself is, third and final thing that I've learned about myself, kind of piggybacking off the advantage thing, is that the older I get, the more nice of a person I become. I used to be ruthless in Atlanta. Like I'm talking about.
You said what?
to me, none of y'all talk to her.
And the girls will follow. Like, that's how it would be. And I was very petty, conniving. But at the same time, I was a very, very good and loyal friend. So it was like if someone did something to me that I felt wronged, then I'm tapping into savage mode. But I feel like the older that I get...
But what did all that prove, though?
It wasn't even about proving anything. It was about letting people know that if you're going to be my friend, then you're going to treat me the same way that I treat you. And
you were just going to let them have it.
Let them have it. I would let them have it. But I know I learned that in therapy that the older I get, I'm not even that person anymore. And there were a lot of times where I would have conversations with myself and I'm like, what happened to that Corey that I used to be? Like when I find myself in situations at work and I find it difficult to say no, to whomever that might ask me for help. It was really just the people around me not really using all their resources to get their work done. And they might come up with questions. So they would come to me and ask me thinking, oh, well, Corey knows the answer or Corey knows more about this than me. So instead of trying on my own, let me go to Corey and interrupt what he's doing and kind of defy his time management so that I can get what I need. And the issue with that was that I would always say yes. And I was always like the one helping. And my reason for that to my therapist was because I've been on the other side of that. And when I needed help from someone and someone may have said like, oh, I don't have time or no to me. And I always told myself that I don't want to be that person. Like I'm not that person. So if I have the opportunity and the space to help someone, then I'm going to do that. But that turned into what she explained to me as me being taken advantage of. And sometimes I would regret not bringing it full circle, not being that person that I was when I lived in Atlanta who let the girls have it.
Just up front.
Right. I mean, people knew me, like they knew how to approach me at work. You know what I mean? Like they knew, I'm not going to go into like any details, but that was just kind of like the gist of it. So like once I realized that people were doing, like sometimes people would do things in their own best interest and not necessarily mine is when I realized I just started taking my power back. And it just became like, I wasn't like ruthless like I used to be, but it definitely wasn't, oh, Corey, can you help me? No, I'm not doing that. My delivery may have been abrasive, but I wasn't rude. So in therapy, she helped me to realize and take back the part of me that I've relinquished as I grew older.
Well, you have become a strong Black woman. It's so cool when you can see the growth in yourself. Like,
it is. All right, Emmious, is there anything else that you wanted to...
I would like to say thank you for having me.
Give us your Instagram and your website one more time.
My Instagram is Painted by Emmy. That is Painted by Emmy. And my website is www.paintedbyemmy.com. You can go on and shop original paintings and prints, and they ship directly from the artist himself.
Word, go off. And I'll also include those in the description of this episode.
I can't wait until the next conversation.
I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me and Emmious tonight. Make sure you go check out his dope artwork. He's a really dope artist. I have some of his prints myself. Head over to his website to check that out. You could also find him on Instagram at Painted by Emmy. That's PaintedByEmmy. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all next week.
It's called a gated community.
I'm in a gated community. All the gays are You live. live in a gated community.
African people are not pro-homosexual.
Who is having that conversation?